I know one of the numbers I used to use a lot, and I don't know if it actually still stands, is that 2/3 of our pre-wean mortality occurs within the first 48 hours of life.
Always, yes.
Right.
Yep.
And so it's so important to investigate and invest so much of our time and effort into those first few days. And I do think you're right. It involves, we understand what's happening, but how do we change the behavior on the farm to, to adjust as well so that you can reduce that mortality, right? So
my experience says, and especially with my time at PIC and working in that business advising role, a lot of the times, it's really easy to point out the challenges. Okay. If you go in a farm and you're at 15% pre-wean, as a grower told me a few weeks ago, I don't want my pre-wean any higher, so that's fundamentally really easy, and I think back to my time in working for a very large producer in China. When I went to China, I would spend a month there, and going in this particular system, I kept hearing for the first week about what was it called? Previous American experts. Oh, our previous American experts said this, and I went through that for about the first week. I got more comfortable with the director there. And, I finally said, what did they say to you? What did those previous, because I was just interested. And he said, well, they told us we needed to focus on these two areas. And during this whole time frame, I kept saying, why am I here? What do you want me to do? And they kept saying, the next step. We need to take the next step. And so when I started talking about those previous American experts, I asked them, I said, were they right? And the director said, they were exactly right. Really good. So I slept on that a day, came back to him, and I said, if they were so right, why am I here and where are they? And he said, because we need you to take us to the next step. The whole time I thought the next step was just some motto, but they really physically or literally meant the next step was, we knew pre-wean mortality was an issue. They already knew that. But they needed things built in place. They needed processes. They had these huge SOPs, and we wanted to pick those out, which we felt like we could put in place like a recipe. We were going to put them in place first and execute with labor allocation and benchmarking. So literally, I go back to that thing in China and pretty much everywhere. Most people know 80% what the issues are. What they really need, and including, I think of myself when I managed a farm, what I really needed was, what's that next step? Like the Chinese taught me. It wasn't just a motto on a t-shirt. It was, how can I align myself and my leadership in this huge thing called day one pig care to focus and make results. So, and that's what I find really fun also.